If you're talking to a woman and you feel even the smallest bit of resistance, brother, you're already done. Because the truth is, attraction dies the moment you start convincing. Every time you chase, explain, or wait for her to see your worth, you're not showing strength. You're leaking it. Most men don't lose women because they weren't good enough. They lose them because they couldn't walk away when respect was gone. They mistake silence for try harder when silence actually means stop. And that, brother, is where the game flips. The second you stop fighting for her attention and start protecting your peace, everything begins to shift. This video isn't about hate. It's not about ego. It's about truth, the kind that hurts before it heals. We're going to break down exactly why women pull away when you overinvest, how friction reveals the truth she won't say out loud, and how silence, when used with discipline, can rebuild your power from the ground up. Because when you finally stop communicating with women who treat you like an option, you start hearing something louder than her words, your own clarity. If you've ever chased when you should have stayed silent, drop a 1 in the comments. If you've learned to walk away and felt your peace return, drop a 2. Like and subscribe to Stoic Station, brother, and start this journey now. Because once you understand the power behind silence, you'll never chase confusion again. Now let's dive in. 1. The real problem. Why men keep simping. Brother, most men today aren't weak because they were born without strength. They're weak because they keep pouring that strength into the wrong places. They give it to women who treat them like background noise, hoping that if they just say the right thing, send the right text, or show enough loyalty, she'll finally see their worth. But attraction doesn't work that way. You can't talk a woman into wanting you. You can't text your way into her heart, and you can't negotiate your way into desire. The more you try to convince her, the more she confirms to herself that she doesn't feel it. Here's the truth most men don't want to face. You're trying to persuade someone who was never undecided. She already knows how she feels about you. She knew it from the first few conversations, from the way her emotions lit up, or didn't. Her words might sound uncertain, but her behavior never lies. When she starts pulling back, when her texts go from "hey" to "maybe, we'll see," that isn't confusion, that's clarity. She's showing you, through hesitation and silence, that you're not the one she's choosing. But this is the moment where most men break. They mistake distance for an invitation to chase. They think silence means try harder. They double down on effort, crafting longer messages, offering more patience, hoping consistency will melt indifference. But brother, silence doesn't mean try harder. Silence means stop. Because every time you try to explain your value to someone who's not listening, you lower it. Every attempt to prove you're worth her time tells her you're still waiting for permission to be seen. The truth stings because it's simple. You don't lose her when she pulls away. You lose yourself when you chase. Every time you chase, you step further away from your center, from that quiet confidence that makes a man magnetic. When you stop, when you breathe, when you allow her distance to be what it is, you return to power. The man who can hold silence without needing reassurance is the man every woman eventually remembers. So before you send that next message, pause. Ask yourself if you're chasing love or abandoning yourself. Because sometimes the strength you're looking for isn't in holding on, it's in letting go. Have you ever felt that pull, that urge to prove your worth to someone who was already halfway out the door? Drop "proved once" in the comments if you've been there. Because next, brother, we're going to uncover the one signal most men ignore, the moment that tells you exactly when to walk away, and when your silence starts to speak louder than any word ever could. 2. Understanding friction. The hidden signal of disinterest. Brother, friction isn't the loud fight or the cold silence that comes after months of dating. It's far more subtle than that. It's the small pauses that grow longer with every text. It's the "I'll let you know" that never turns into a plan. It's the slow fade that feels like nothing you can point to, but everything you can feel. That's friction. That's her heart saying no while her words keep pretending maybe. She might tell you she's busy, but somehow she's never too busy for the man she actually wants. She might say she's tired, overwhelmed, not ready for anything serious, but she still finds energy to text someone else. That's not bad luck, brother. That's communication in its truest form, because people always make time for what they value. If she's not showing up, it's because she doesn't want to. You just don't want to believe it. Here's the mistake most men make. They think friction is a puzzle to solve, a challenge to overcome. They tell themselves, if I stay patient, if I prove I'm different, she'll see I'm worth her time. But what she actually sees is that you'll tolerate being second place just to stay close. She learns you'll accept excuses in exchange for crumbs of attention. Every text you send after that doesn't make her care more. It just confirms that she doesn't have to. That's not attraction. That's training her to lose respect for you. The truth is, friction isn't an obstacle, it's a mirror. It reflects how much self-respect you still have. When you keep pushing through resistance, hoping she'll change, you're not fighting for love. You're fighting against reality. The rule is simple and brutal. If there's friction, you're done. No chasing, no double texting, no maybe next week. And when you understand this, you stop taking her hesitation personally. You stop needing to prove anything. You stop explaining your worth and start protecting your peace. Because men who live by this rule don't stop communicating out of anger. They stop because their time, energy, and presence are sacred. They know that giving more to someone who gives less is a silent form of self-abandonment. And here's where it gets paradoxical, brother. The moment you stop reaching out, she starts to feel something she didn't expect: curiosity. She starts to wonder why the attention she took for granted suddenly disappeared. Silence shifts the balance. Suddenly it's not you trying to prove your value. It's her trying to understand what she lost. That's the power of detachment. So before you send that next message, pause. Ask yourself, is this effort moving you forward or keeping you stuck in a loop of self-doubt? Because when you finally stop trying to push through friction, you'll feel something stronger than her validation, your peace returning. And that peace, brother, is what she'll eventually crave when your absence starts to echo louder than any word you ever said. 3. The harsh truth. Brother, the hardest truth to face is also the simplest one. When a woman truly likes you, she won't make you guess. She won't play cold one day and warm the next. She'll answer your calls. She'll respond to your texts. She'll make time to see you, not because you asked, but because she wants to. When a woman is genuinely drawn to you, there's flow, not friction. But when she treats you like a stranger auditioning for her attention, that's not connection, it's convenience. You're not her priority, you're her placeholder. And here's what most men don't understand. Indifference hurts more than rejection. Rejection at least closes a door. Indifference leaves you standing in the hallway, hoping she'll open it again. She may not dislike you, brother. She just doesn't feel enough. That's what makes it so painful. Because it's not hate that kills attraction. It's apathy. It's when she doesn't care whether you show up or not. So, what do most men do? They take that indifference as a wound to their ego. They start analyzing every text, every pause, every word she said, trying to find the flaw. They ask, what did I do wrong? What can I say to fix this? But you can't fix what was never broken. You can't build chemistry where there is none. You're not the problem. You're just in the wrong place. You're trying to plant yourself in soil that can't sustain you, hoping love will grow where it was never meant to take root. The Stoics had it right. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. You're not suffering because she rejected you. You're suffering because you refuse to accept what's real. You keep living in the version of her that existed in your hopes, not the one standing in front of you. But reality is a gift, brother. It's the clean cut that frees you from fantasy. Clarity may hurt, but it also heals. Because once you see things as they are, you stop chasing illusions. This isn't cruelty, it's truth. And truth, no matter how heavy, is what returns your power. The moment you accept that she doesn't want you the way you want her, the chains fall off. That's when you stop trying to be chosen and start becoming someone who's undeniable, the kind of man whose peace and purpose are louder than any woman's silence. So ask yourself this: are you holding on to her or to the story you told yourself about her? Because the day you stop confusing fantasy with reality is the day you start living free. Once you understand that, brother, everything changes. You'll no longer chase to be noticed, you'll build to be remembered. And in the next breath, we'll talk about what that actually looks like when a man chooses evolution over obsession. 4. The only solution. Brother, when you face rejection or indifference, life offers you only two paths. You can chase her, or you can evolve beyond the version of yourself that needed her in the first place. One road leads you backward into emotional chaos. The other takes you forward into power. Most men, sadly, choose the first. They stay stuck in that endless loop, replaying every word, every message, every look, like a detective searching for clues that will rewrite the ending. But all that overthinking does is freeze your life in place, and nothing drains a man's spirit faster than stagnation. Every second you spend trying to change her mind is a second you're not changing your life. You can't become magnetic by begging. You can only become magnetic by building. So stop asking, "Why doesn't she want me?" and start asking, "What would make me impossible to ignore?" The answer is never in her. It's in you. Get leaner, sharper, stronger. Refine your tone, your presence, your confidence. When you walk into a room, your energy should speak before you do. Work on your craft. Build your business. Expand your knowledge. The man who invests in himself doesn't need to chase validation. He attracts it by existing. Because here's what no one tells you. When you elevate your value, you automatically filter out the women who only valued your effort. The higher you rise, the quieter you become, because your life itself does the talking. But remember, brother, success alone isn't power. There are plenty of men with money, muscles, or status who still lose women's respect because their inner world is weak. True attraction begins when your outer progress aligns with your inner stillness. When you move with purpose and peace, not need. When your frame is steady, your silence speaks more than any argument ever could. And something interesting happens when you reach that point. The same women who once hesitated, who left your messages unread, suddenly start circling back. They'll view your stories, linger on your posts, or test the waters with a "Hey, stranger." But by then, you won't care, not out of bitterness, but because you've built a life too full to notice who's missing. That's what growth does. It shifts your gravity. So ask yourself, brother, have you ever felt that quiet shift? That moment when the woman who ignored you suddenly starts watching again? That's not coincidence. That's attraction returning to its rightful place, pulled by your absence, drawn by your evolution. And it only happens when you stop chasing and start building. Because once you live by this truth, you'll realize that walking away isn't loss, it's transformation. And speaking of transformation, the next truth will challenge everything you've been taught about strength, boundaries, and silence. It's the rule that changes everything. 5. The iron rule. Brother, walking away doesn't make you cold, It makes you clear. It's not about punishing her, it's about protecting yourself. When you walk away from confusion, you walk back into your peace. Every time you ignore friction, you save yourself from months of second-guessing, from decoding mixed signals that were never meant to be clear. Every time you choose distance over desperation, you reclaim the energy you were wasting on someone who didn't value it. This is the line that separates men who grow from men who stay stuck. When a woman realizes she can no longer control your attention with silence, something shifts. She starts to see you differently, not as the predictable man who bends under emotional pressure, but as the rare one who stands firm in stillness. Most men fold when they feel that tension. They panic, they chase, they break their own boundaries. But you, brother, when you hold your ground, you send a message louder than any word could carry. My peace is not for sale. That strength is what draws respect. It's what redefines attraction. Because women aren't drawn to the men who react, they're drawn to the men who remain unmoved. The moment you stop trying to prove yourself is the moment she starts to question herself. She'll feel the shift. She'll sense that something in you has changed, something she can no longer reach. And that distance, steady, calm, deliberate, becomes the mirror that forces her to see the difference between what she had and what she lost. And yes, sometimes your silence will sting her ego. Sometimes she'll come back, not because she loves you, but because she wants to see if she still can. That's when you'll know you've won. Not because she returned, but because you no longer need her to. The moment her validation loses power over you, her opinion stops defining your worth. You've outgrown the version of yourself that needed approval to feel alive. So the rule is simple, brother. When resistance appears, step back. When attention feels forced, release it. Walking away doesn't mean giving up. It means you're done negotiating your value. The man who can walk in silence, who can detach without bitterness, is the man who commands both peace and respect. But here's the twist most men never see coming. What happens when your silence starts to echo in her mind? When the noise she once enjoyed can't drown out the calm she now misses, that's the moment everything flips. And it's what we'll uncover next, the truth that changes how you move forever. 6. Final message. Build, don't beg. Brother, there comes a point when words lose their power. You can't text your way into being respected. You can't talk your way into being desired. No message, no explanation, no perfect sentence can make someone value you if they've already decided not to. Respect isn't earned by pleading. It's earned by presence. Attraction isn't built through promises. It's built through progress. You have to live your way there. Stop communicating with women who treat you like an option. Stop explaining your worth to people who've already shown you they can't feel it. Every time you chase recognition from the wrong person, you make your energy cheaper. Every time you try to prove your value, you silently admit that you don't believe it yourself. The more you talk, the less they listen. But when you fall silent and build, the world starts to notice. Build in silence. Let your work speak for you. Let your body reflect discipline, your voice reflect confidence, and your eyes reflect peace. Let your composure say what words can't, because no man has ever lost a woman by walking away with dignity, but countless have lost themselves by refusing to. The Stoic path was never about revenge, it was always about return. Returning to the center, to your strength, to that quiet place inside where no rejection can shake you. The real test was never about whether she'd stay. It was about whether you could stay centered when she didn't. Whether you could remain grounded when your emotions begged you to break character. That's where your power is. Not in chasing, not in proving, but in standing firm when the world around you pulls. Brother, stop explaining your worth. Live it. Walk in it. Let your calm be your boundary and your growth be your answer. Because when you finally choose to build instead of beg, everything shifts. The respect you once tried to demand begins to flow toward you naturally. The right people start to appear. Even those who doubted you begin to adjust, not because you convinced them, but because your life became undeniable proof of who you are. So build quietly, move with intention. Let time and progress speak for you. And remember this, the world always listens to the man who no longer needs to speak. When your silence becomes power, everything and everyone aligns with it. Brother, if this message reached you, let it remind you of one simple truth. Silence is not retreat, it's return. It's the moment a man stops chasing what doesn't value him and starts building what can't be taken away. Take a breath, stand tall, and let your peace speak louder than any explanation ever could. If you're ready to live that calm, powerful presence no one can shake, subscribe to Stoic Station and share in the comments. Have you ever walked away only to realize that was the moment you became unshakable? Because every story we told here leads back to this. The man who chooses peace over pursuit always wins in the end.